So since you have already clicked this video to find out what is happening right now with price action of Bitcoin and also what kind of scenario to expect next, guys, then you are in the right place, because today I have prepared some very interesting scenario that could be playing out here in the immediate short term, and also the reason why we are getting this rejection around this 50,000 range again and again. And that's why, guys, before I jump into the content, I would also really appreciate if you could just take 2 seconds of your time and smash the like button, and for those individual watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button and the bell. Now let's jump into the content. If you monitor this previous price action of Bitcoin and the current one, I want to show you this one similarity which indicated more of a non-failure swing, and right now the way the price is behaving is pretty similar to this exact scenario which also played out in past Bitcoin price action. And this right now is indicating the price of Bitcoin could see some more consolidation before an actual breakout type of scenario takes place. Why I'm actually saying you this, if you go back here and look at the past Bitcoin price action, right, when we had this pretty similar scenario playing out, and I also added this head and shoulder that was playing out parallelly, right? If you look at this one here, once the price broke out of the neckline area, we started this downtrend, as you can see, right? And if we look at this non-failure swing example, guys, you can see point A, point C and point E are more of an impulsive movement. Point B and point E are more of a corrective price movement. And in our case, if you look at this point A and point C, this was an impulsive movement, and also the point C is higher than point A, which is also looking more of a head and shoulder type of scenario. And as soon as the C leg starts breaking below the B leg, right, then this indicates a sign of danger. And we also formed this right shoulder at the same time, and once the neckline was broken, right, you can see we started this new moving here to the downside around this point F area, just like as shown here in an example. And now if you look in our case, guys, you can see this exact scenario could be also playing out parallelly. I mean, if you look at the example here, point A, point C was an impulsive movement, point B and point D is corrective price movement. Point A, point C, you can see C is also higher than the point A area. And now if you monitor the point B and also this point E area, you can see the point B is where the point E is going to find rejection and see this downward price movement breaking the support around the D area. So this S1 is the first support line, this here is the second support line, and after breaking the second support line, there will be a sell off where the price heads towards this point F area. And in our case, you can see exact this scenario is playing out. I mean, we broke out of the point E area, the first support line, right? Again, the second support line, the point D area, also got broken, and now we are around this point F area. So what does this actually mean? So if this exact scenario is also going to play out just like it from past Bitcoin price action, then you can see, guys, we should be expecting more of a range bound type of scenario playing out before price chooses an actual trend direction, because this is where we could be seeing more of a consolidation. And why this scenario could also play out if you look at this price action in a bit different way, because I have added this one example which is known as re-accumulation phase from Wyckoff. And according to this re-accumulation phase from Wyckoff, you can see point A, point C, right? Point A, point C, or you can also look this more as a double top. And after this double top, when the neckline gets broken, we see a sell off. That's very normal, just like as shown here in the example, a sell off happened. And now if this is going to be a re-accumulation phase from Wyckoff and also the non-failure swing around this point F area, we are expecting more of a range bound type of scenario to play out, because this will also indicate that the point F, which usually indicates more of a range bound, right, could be playing out parallelly along with this Wyckoff's re-accumulation phase. So that's why, guys, that's why if the price of Bitcoin, right, shows more of a range bound type of scenario, then we are aware this Wyckoff's re-accumulation schematic could be also playing out parallelly. But what we are not allowed to do is to break below the previous low structure, because we are still, right, we are still making these higher highs, higher lows continuation pattern. So we don't want the previous low to get broken. So that's why this is one example we have to monitor very, very carefully. And not just only this one here, guys. If you also are aware the reason why the price of Bitcoin got a rejection around this 50,000 range, let me show you that. So guys, we talked about this falling wedge type of scenario that played out more as a bull trap rather than an actual breakout here to the upside. You can see impulsive movement, corrective movement, impulsive movement, corrective price movement. And this exact scenario was also monitored here in my video, because I made that very clear. If we are going to see any sort of impulsive movement, 51, 52 is where we could be heading before choosing a trend duration. And you can see we almost came around the 51,000, and now we are seeing this price retracement. So if this price retracement is also going to happen just like here from past Bitcoin price action, then you can see we will be seeing more of a movement here in this manner. And if this is going to be more of a consolidation phase, then we are more than happy to see that, because we know around that range this could be playing out as a re-accumulation phase, and also the non-failure swing, which is around the point F area, might be ending very, very soon. So that's why, guys, this scenario which are lining up parallelly actually makes a lot of sense for Bitcoin. And not just only this one here. Now let me show you the reason why we are getting this rejection around this 50,000 range. So guys, now what we are going to do, we are going to find the reason why the price of Bitcoin is getting rejection around this 50,000 range and what is stopping us. Because if you look at this falling wedge example, with each and every bullish price movement, the price was always able to break out of the upper line area, and then impulsive price movement. Similar scenario unfolded here, broke out of the upper line area, impulsive scenario followed after that. But in our case, the price broke the support line and not the resistance line, and now we are clearly below it. So what does this actually mean? You can see the same line which previously acted as a strong line of support is holding the price around this 50,000 range. If the price of Bitcoin wants to show any sort of impulsive movement, then we have to break out of this 50,000 and flip it into support, because breaking above this 50,000 will also bring the price inside this falling wedge, and this is what we want to see. And not just only the resistance from this falling wedge, right, the lower line, but also if you look at this Williams alligator indicator, every time when you see this Williams alligator indicator, blue line appearing at the top and green line at the bottom, that usually indicates the sign of weakness. But if you see the green line at the top and the blue line at the bottom, that usually indicates the trend could be showing some impulsive movement. And this exact is also happening here. I mean, the blue line is at the top just like here, and the green line is at the bottom, which is indicating the trend is still weakening, right? We have to see this crossover happening and the blue line at the bottom. If we do see that happening, then we can see another impulsive or an actual price movement here to the upper direction. So right now you can see exactly where this lower line area is from this falling wedge. The lower band, the green line, is also acting as a line of resistance. So that's why if the price of Bitcoin breaks out of this lower line area of this falling wedge and also manage to break out of this Williams alligator indicator, then we can expect some sort of impulsive movement to happen here in price action of Bitcoin. Otherwise, we are still going to see more of a range bound type of scenario, just like as shown here in an example from Wyckoff and also from this non-failure swing. And not just only this one here, guys. If you are aware, yesterday I also talked about this descending channel, and according to the descending channel, the central line was playing a very, very important role. Whenever the price of Bitcoin was above it, the central line acted as a strong line of support, right? And we also got approached towards the top of the channel. You can see, but when the price was below it, this same line which previously acted as support acted as a resistance. But once the price was able to find a proper support above it, we also got gravitated towards the top of the channel. And in our case, if you look at it right now, yesterday this line was a strong line of resistance, but today we are above it. So what does this actually mean? If we are going to see another movement here to the upside, then I am actually expecting a pretty similar scenario to play out just like here. As you can see, we were above the center line, but the price still showed some more weakness here in this manner, right? So I am actually expecting more of a price movement here like this, and price approaching above the upper line area. So that's why if we do approach and break the resistance into support, then maybe we can see some temporary price movement here to the upper direction, because we are aware if this is going to be an actual reversal here to the upside, we have to break this resistance from the lower band of this Williams alligator indicator. Lower line here we have this falling wedge, and not just only that, if I would add this Fibonacci line from this swing high till this swing low, you can see the 0.5 and the 0.618 must also be clearly broken, because staying above this upper line area will indicate the price could be preparing itself for another movement. But unless we are not breaking between this 50 to 52,000, we will still be very careful, because the price here could show some temporary relief before again continue here to the downward direction, because according to the dead cat bounce, we are aware there will be more of a retracement type of scenario around this 50% to 0.618, which is 60% Fibonacci line, before continue this rally here to the downside. And in our case, if we look at this carefully, guys, we got a rejection after reaching around the 0.5 area, and this 0.5 is actually a strong line of resistance. So that's why yesterday when we came across this line, we got the rejection from the lower band of this Williams alligator indicator, falling wedge, right, this lower line area, and also from this Fibonacci line, the 0.5 Fibonacci line. So that's why if the price of Bitcoin wants to an actual movement, this 50,000 resistance to 52,000 must be broken at any cost. So this are some of the interesting scenario I thought sharing with you in today's episode. If you enjoyed my work, guys, then come on, please hit the like button, and for those individual watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button and the bell. So by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye, guys.